All right, so hi, my name is Shelby, and I will be redoing my original TV pitch from Hell. The original prompt was an animated series based on Tony the Tiger from Frosted Flakes and Chicky and Sam from Fruit Loops. The format will be animated, but the tone is more going to be an adult comedy, fantasy, and this time it will be an action, sort of like a war film. So the Netflix queue, I would say, would be more along the lines of more along the lines of Rick and Morty. Probably I'd say like Archer might be in there too. Maybe BoJack Horseman. Just because the comedy will be in that sort of like manner as well. And in that sort of taste. But yeah, so my log line is after a longtime employee is scorned by the company Kellogg's with his new serial character idea being turned down. He hires a witch to bring to life all the advertisement characters to retaliate against their companies. Some of the themes that will be explored is friendship, love, and freedom. But this is also a story of revenge and how it can be more harmful than beneficial and how it can really overcome a person. But then we also have like, our themes of friendship, love, and freedom, which is expressed through our characters and them finding their own ways in a world where they were only ever expected to be on a box or in a cartoon. Um, so one of some of our main character descriptions, Hazel. Hazel's our witch. Hazel's an eccentric human who lives by herself at the edge of a trailer park. She has spent years protesting for basic human rights, global warning. She's very loving, but a little loopy to some. She has several advertisements to be labeled as a spiritual guidance. One of our other main characters is Frank Oreo. Frank Oreo has worked with Kellogg's for 15 years. He has spent his life dream was to develop the next great cereal box character that would be remembered for generations. And he even invented his own cereal as well. His he just wants to. He's very like average Joe type of guy, but he does have some anger issues, and when he gets turned down, he lets it overcome him slightly. Toucan Sam. So Sam is our very fed up once he's liberated from his duties. After years of having to solve puzzles, travel the seas, getting eaten by aliens and whales, and attacked by snakes, all while having to be pleasant with stupid lines, he is done. After he's liberated, he helps lead the attack on humanity and becomes known as a war hero. Tony the Tiger. Tony holds the most anger. After feeling he has been trapped in a persona, one that likes sports, supports everyone, constantly having to say things are great, he wants to completely rebrand himself as who he wants to be. He wants to say that things are not great. He pairs up with Sam and they ultimately become best friends and war heroes. And they run a squadron as well. Essentially, humans become the enemy. Once the world went into cartoon anarchy, they did not have a chance. The world is separated with a still constant raging battle on both sides fighting for supremacy. There are several delegates trying to fight for peace, as in like the Geico Gecko, the bee from Honey Nut Cheerios being some. Some characters that are in the characters that are in the squadron with Tony and Sam is the rabbit from Trix, Lucky the leprechaun from Lucky Charms, and Captain Crunch. So our pilot begins with our hook. There's a battlefield between humans and animated characters ensues. We see Sam and Tony are behind a barricade, waiting to go out, waiting for reinforcements. They talk about what to do once the war is over and their contracts are up. The rabbit from Chick says he knows one thing for sure: he's getting a bowl of cereal from the stupid kids. And then he goes out with a rocket launcher and blows a bunch of stuff up. And then we start into Act One, and we have the title Before. So the world is currently normal. It is happy. People are going about their day. Frank Oreo, a Kellogg employee, goes up to his cubicle. Today is the big day. He gets to present his new cereal and new cereal box character to the higher ups. After working his way up for 15 years, he is ready. However, once he goes in, he is laughed at for how horrible his idea is. And it is actually a horrible idea, and the cereal does taste like garbage. But devastated by his life's dream and work being cast to the side, he sees a Facebook ad for a witch named Hazel. Essentially, she offers all kind of mystical services. Frank comes up with a plan. Frank heads into a trailer park where Hazel lives with a bag of groceries. He asks her to accompany him and rise to glory by starting a revolution. Hazel really does not care as long as she gets to keep her trailer in the spot it is in and mind her business with her cats. Frank is slightly hurt by her lack of conviction, but she still manages to make what he wants happen. The first characters she brings to life are the boxes of cereal he brought in the grocery bag. Tony the Tiger and Toucan Sam. Once they are liberated, they're pretty groggy. They're still trying to get out of their states and loops. Frank gives them a rundown of what they are and how they've been imprisoned like him, laughed at like him, and taken advantage of like him. He asks if they will join him and retaliate. They will build an army and take what is theirs, and that this is just the beginning. So this brings us into Act Two. There's a slight time jump. News anchors are reporting in terror of how animated characters all over the world are fighting back. Children are devastated by their loss of their beloved cartoon characters. Cities are in flames. It is a flat-out civil war. Tony and Sam are war generals at the front lines, leading one of the most iconic squadrons anyone has ever seen. And then we go to present day. Tony and Sam are called to Frank Oreo's penthouse. Frank has become the leader of the revolution for animated characters and is currently waging the war as the new president of the New World for Freedom. Half of America's states are deemed Toon territory, while others are still human run. Frank reports that other countries have been successful with the animations taking over, especially big time animated marketplaces like Japan. Frank is calling Tony and Sam in to run a new mission. In exchange, their squadron will be entitled to whatever riches they desire for the rest of their lives. They are to hunt down the president of Kellogg, the man who crushed his dream character, and they will bring him back alive. Meanwhile, Frank is developing a new scale character that he will bring to life to control the world based on his old concept that was turned down in the beginning. So essentially, he's creating, and designing this great, huge character that's like sort of like the more violent war machine of his original idea. And he's just waiting to bring it to life until he has it fully designed. So the squadron takes some time before gearing up. Some travel to bars, strip clubs, etc. I could kind of see this main location, taking place in like an animated Las Vegas type of deal. Just because it's more, just because of the vibe and aesthetic of it, I think would really work for the series. Tony visits a human woman that he's been keeping safe named Leah in his apartment. She was actually trying to protect small animated characters that were brought back during the battles. And he fell in love with her over time and vowed to keep her hidden until he could fulfill his contract and take her somewhere safe where they could be together. No one else knows about her currently. So after everybody says their goodbyes, they all get their woohoo out. The squadron heads out towards the old Kellogg building in order to find a trace of where this man could be. As they travel the halls, they come across a crazed man, an old worker who talks insanity. Sam suggests to put him out of his misery, but Tony states just let him wander and let him go. They make it up to the top floor. Once they are there, they start to look for files. They have a hard time finding things. They find a couple other reports, but right when they find the folder that they're looking for, they get ambushed. And this brings us into Act 3. So apparently the crazed man played them. He's actually part of the OKK, which is the old Kellogg clan, which is basically a hate group of coworkers against animated characters. An epic shootout ensues. The squadron manages to overcome the OKK, and they escape the building with the file. They have a photo and a location, and they now know their next move, so that's where I would see probably the episode after that going. But yeah, so essentially, this was my remake of my first original pitch, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.